Welcome into the Cam and Strick Podcast, episode number 69.
Yeah.
You have anything to say about that?
What am I, fucking 12? Jesus Christ,
Well, I thought you looked at
69.
me-
Like,
you
it's
looked at me-
uncomfortable
you got
anyway.
all, like, excited
It's uncomfortable
about it.
anyway.
Surprised you didn't.
Smashing your face like you can't even. It's not even comfortable, that position, to be honest with you. So like, throw that out the fucking window.
All right, we got to get into some serious news. Cam and Strick, headline news. So the NHL looks like they're not going to play tomorrow. Yeah. And listen, we don't have the... At the time we're recording this, there's so much being discussed about the games that are expected to be played today will be played tomorrow, and the games that are expected to be played on Friday would then be played Saturday. Then there's talk no games on Thursday, no games on Friday. We have not gotten the official release from the National Hockey League. What we do know, it sounds like every team is going to have one of their games postponed.
Yeah, so there could be games tomorrow.
Could
Again,
be.
Could be. Yeah.
But there's no official word yet from the league.
So just do what you got to do, okay? Do what you got to do. If you got to do it, then do it. If you want to, as the players come together and they talk about it and the alliance comes through and they're like, look, guys, you want to do this? Everybody else is doing it. Can you do this? Just show solidarity. Is that the word? Mm-hmm. Solidarity? Did I say that right? If you could do that, just do it. I know it's a pain in the ass for the guys. You think the guys are already fucking miserable as it is, being down there, but this is for the greater good. If you want to do it, then do it. People are going to bitch about it. That's fine. I think if it lasts more than 2 days and it's like, okay, what are we doing? I feel bad for the baseball players because they're already playing double headers out the fucking wazoo.
It's like, hey,
out the wazoo.
Players in baseball are like, hey, Major League Baseball, we want to postpone the games. We don't want to play tomorrow. And they're like, okay. Well, do you want to play in like 2-degree weather in like the end of November?
We'll play in February.
Yeah. You want to have a Pirates-Reds matchup on Thanksgiving Day?
So it's like, okay, there's always a balance.
Triple headers.
There's always a balance, though,
yes.
right? I mean, like this
some baseball players are pissed, though.
No, I know. And some hockey players are too, trust me. But on the other hand, it's a balance. So you give a little bit and show, hey, look, we get it. You can't do that kind of stuff. We need to figure a couple things out. Although there's both sides there's two sides every story.
There's three sides here.
There's a million sides every story with all this stuff. But on the other hand, you got to show and you got to support, and that's what they're doing. 2 days is good. Other than that, just get fucking going.
They're showing support. Yeah. I found it interesting, though, that some of the players on like Wednesday night were saying, well, because they were taking some heat. Some media were like sick to their stomach that they were playing.
I'm like, hey, why are you working there?
I know. I want to say to the media who are sick to their stomach. I mean, listen, it's okay to have an opinion, but
disgusting.
But like, you're that emotional about the players playing, and it's okay if you are, man. That's your own personal opinion. That's on you. But if you're that emotional and you're sick to your stomach and you're that angry, like,
why are you there?
Don't work.
What are you there for?
Don't cover the game.
What are you there for?
Because
if you're that emotional, what are you doing?
Somebody at home may be disgusted that you're working.
But how about this, though? How about you let the guys know that you're working with? Like, Andy, if you show up today, like, I'm not going to show up today. I'd be like, fuck you. Like, I do this myself?
Oh, my God.
I'm going to interview fucking Shane Doan, that handsome bugger with sick-ass hair who's, like, perfect, by the way. I got to interview him. He's scared to death of me. I'm Satan. No, that doesn't work that way. Let's come here and help me with this. But on the other hand, like, Kelly, like, they probably found out right away, and Kelly's probably emotional, and he's like, okay. You know what? Screw this. I'm going to get out. Just like Kenny from Kenny NBA Night. Kenny Smith.
Yeah, Kenny Smith.
Kenny Smith. Love the guy. Hilarious.
He left the set.
He just left the set. But did you know that beforehand? If you knew that beforehand, why don't you just be like, hey, Shaq,
right.
Charles,
was that for show? Was that for
show? And that's fine because that still gets attention that you need.
I think Shaquille O'Neal tweeted out something about like what does that accomplish?
Those guys were like wrestling.
What does it accomplish to not play?
I think those guys were like wrestling with each other like 20 minutes after that.
Probably.
Shaq and Charles were like, okay.
Yeah.
They're like wrestling with each other.
The only thing is like on Wednesday night when all the players were being asked about this after the game and all the hard-hitting questions. It's like, dude, first off, like they're walking to the rink, they're in the bubble. And they're like, we didn't know that the other leagues weren't playing, so we didn't really know. So, but is that what it comes down to? Like they just do what everybody else is doing? So is this, I just want to make sure, here's all I say. If you're going to postpone games, if you're really truly going to make a statement, it's just got to be authentic. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
And that it's authentic, it's real. You're not just doing it because the other leagues are doing it or because you feel like you're supposed to because everyone else is doing it.
You could do your own thing. You don't have to postpone games. I mean, that's just there's a lot that goes to it, man.
It sits that close to home where you're that moved by
Brantford, Ontario,
where emotionally you just can't get it together. You cannot play.
You can't play. You grew up in Brantford, Ontario.
You saw it. Saskatchewan.
You grew up in Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan. Yeah, hardcore up there.
But
you're not the NBA. These guys grew up with this, man. Like they dealt with this so much on a daily generations. of these NBA guys and NFL guys have dealt with this. Andy, we've been to North County. I've certainly been to North County when I was young, doing stupid-ass things. Been down there, seen it. Went to school with city kids. Did it all. So did you, Andy. You didn't go to a private school.
Absolutely
you didn't go to a fucking all-boys private school. So we've seen this kind of stuff. I'm from Eureka. I'm way out, but we come into the city. We've done all this shit. The NBA, man, this has been going through their families for generations. Mm-hmm. It fucking hits them hard. They deal with them. The NHL guys are like, what's going on? Like, they don't even know. And some of them maybe do, but for the most part, they're like, where are you from?
Listen, I said this on NHL Network Radio the other day. I know you heard the interview, but like, I understand. Listen, I understand it from all sides. I don't have a problem with the NHL doing it. If this is what they want to do, so be it. But I get it on the basketball side.
Oh my God!
Because of the individual experiences most of those guys have probably lived through. Seen it with their uncles, their dads, their grandfathers.
Yep. Generations.
The situation that occurred in Wisconsin is probably a lot more relatable to a lot of people who are playing in the NBA or playing in the NFL versus the National Hockey League. So from an experience standpoint, from an emotional standpoint, I get it because we've heard players in the NBA and in the NFL. Those players have been speaking up and speaking out for a long time now. And so, listen, you just can't force individuals to not be individuals. You know, that's why they call it individual, right? It's one, it's singular, and everyone's got to have their own opinion and everyone's got to feel comfortable being who they are and not be forced or pressured into conforming to an idealistic group or whatever. You know what I mean?
But if you want to do it, and again, and I know we specify by this too, just because you didn't grow up, you could do your homework.
You don't have to have grown up in the hood
no doubt.
to not be disgusted by what takes place in the hood.
Don't get me wrong. I just think it's still separate, though, when the NBA wants to make a statement with who is involved in that every organization, it's just completely different. And I think a lot of the guys are forced to answer these questions in the NHL, and they're like, I need to sit back and do my homework on it.
Cam, I don't think it's very comfortable for players in the NHL, for coaches in the NHL, for owners in the NHL, and certainly for the people who run the NHL to be in this situation, because this isn't a situation that they've experienced or that they truly understand or know, right?
You're right. But if you want to kneel beforehand, I told you, and I'll say this again, I've said this on my radio show, your radio show. We talk about stuff every single day. It's not just we do podcasts. Like, we're on the radio every damn day, multiple times a day. And people ask me all the time, would you kneel, Cam? And I go, if Ryan Reeves, if I'm Tyler Seguin, okay, if I'm myself and I'm playing for the Blues and Ryan Reeves was playing for Vegas or whatever the hell, and he comes over in warm and said, Cameron, hey, buddy, been to your house, spent the night at your house, I took your job, we've hung out, can you kneel with me, man? I need you on this one. Mm-hmm. Like, fuck fuck yeah. I'll fucking do whatever you want. I'll do it for you. Mm-hmm. Goddamn right. Do I understand exactly what you're going through? Although you're from Winnipeg, you know, you're not from North County or anything like that. But you're so you never know. But on the other hand, I do whatever you want me to do, man. And Tyler Seguin did it, and he goes in, and a guy said, yeah, but everybody else said, no, I'm going to stand. And that's fine, too.
I was having a conversation today with somebody who is on the Alliance Committee, the Hockey Diversity Alliance Committee, who I got a lot of respect for, man. He's a friend. I like him a lot. And, you know, what I said to him earlier, I just said, I think this is uncomfortable for so many people involved in hockey because the social and the racial issues are foreign to so many of them. I mean, do you think players who are from Russia, Sweden, Finland, areas and parts of most of Canada, and even the American players, truly, they're not going to, the situations that occur between police and minorities probably aren't going to impact a lot of individuals playing in the NHL or working in the NHL as much as it will for other sports. So I cut the NHL some slack from that standpoint because, you know, sometimes, you know, you may be last to react or whatever, only because it's not as the relationship isn't there between the players.
No, you're not. It's not embedded in your soul.
And these urban communities here in the United States.
It's not embedded into your soul. And generationally, into your soul, your grandfather dealt with it. Your grandmother dealt with it. Your father, your mother, your schooling, all that. These guys have dealt with it. And the hockey community just isn't that maybe a handful of guys. And even then, like, who grew up in the NHL from a hardcore U.S. North County, St. Louis, motherfucking hardcore.
And lived it every single day.
Who?
Well,
I don't know. I don't know. Not that matters again, because you're still black and you still have to deal with different things, but it's just the NHL's not the same as the NBA. And the NFL is just that simple, in my opinion. But if you want to go kneel and do all this stuff, I just think you got to start playing in a couple days.
I think the focus is, hey, to show support for Black Lives Matter, and for whatever they feel like they have to do to kind of conform themselves with what the other leagues are doing. And if they voted not to play games, I mean, there are reports out there about Evander Kane, Matt Dumba, holding conference calls with like over 100 players that are inside the bubble. I mean, so they're obviously helping to educate individuals, help the players understand where they're coming from. And I think maybe after the players hear it from them, they're like, dude, I'm with you, man. If you don't want us to play, if you feel like that,
that's what they're doing.
That's going to help things moving forward, then guess what? We're going to sit back and chill inside the bubble. Can't be easy.
No, it's not easy, Andy. And that's the point. And that makes it even better, right? So you think these guys in this bubble, they want to get the fuck out of there so bad?
Oh my God.
Are you out of your mind? Now, by the way, there's more teams that are leaving because they're getting fucking beat out. Now there's less restaurants because you used to be able to go to different hotels within the community there, the prison cell, I should say, and try out different. Now you're subdued to 2 restaurants. You get food poisoning in one, and the other one, you fucking piss out of your ass. Now you don't want to eat anything, and you don't have the vitamins.
That's the 3rd straight episode you said
I'm
that.
just sorry, because it's happened to me a million times.
I
swear to God, if you eat the same restaurant over and over again, which I have, it's one of those days you're like, oh, Lord, have mercy on my stomach, and you sweat, and it's one of those days sometimes you got to tell your wife to come in and help you because you're having a heart attack.
Lord have mercy on my stomach.
Oh, fuck. But she's not there, of course, so you got to have your teammate do it, I guess.
Wild times, though, man.
It's crazy, man.
Wild
I hope I didn't
times.
say anything that offends anybody. Like, you too, Andy, you're not going to do it because you're pretty straightforward. But I just, I don't want to offend you. I'm speaking from the heart on this, and I just don't think the NHL is the same as the NBA. And I think they're doing the right thing. And again, I think that if you want to kneel to do it, do whatever you want. But
you got to cut the players some slack to the extent.
They don't understand.
They're kind of like,
they don't get it.
I don't get it.
They don't, and that's fine.
It's like, what? Okay.
And they're going to do their homework.
Like, I'm from Oslo, Norway, and
I
don't really get it.
I don't think I've even met an African American until I came over to the United States. Seriously.
Maybe.
You're from Sweden. You
so
really?
Help me understand, like,
what's
the
going
racial
on?
gap, the divide.
Why are they like that? Why are the police so aggressive?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
Could we sit down and talk?
Yeah.
But right now you're fucking shoving a microphone in their face. You're like, hey, what do you think? And they're like,
I know. It's like Kevin Shattenkirk.
They're like,
who's from
what?
New Rochelle, like, Connecticut.
They're like,
he's
what?
at the podium, and I love Shaddy, and like, he's so smart, man. He can handle questions
he can
like
handle
that.
anything he wants.
He's like a professional when it
Most
comes to
guys
the press
can.
conferences, and they're just like pounding him with questions about
he's
like
like,
what? He's like, why? He's got to be the guy to answer for
like,
everybody.
He's like, probably like,
I don't know what
he's
we're
like,
doing.
I'll donate.
I just played a hockey game. You don't want us to play? I won't play.
What do I do? You want me donate? Is there somebody? Can I help somehow? Can I physically help?
But I've said this, and I said this on the radio yesterday with the boys there, including Mike Rupper, great guy. And
Cooley.
and Steve Coolius, man, they love the podcast. We appreciate them giving us a shout out. But, it's a. I forgot where I was going to go with that. We might have to edit that.
No, we're not editing that. No, motherfucker. No fucking way. We just touched on everything, Andy. We don't need to touch on anything else.
No.
We're good. We're not editing this either. No.
Okay.
Put the mic in front of your mic. No.
Oh.
You guys take a picture of me the other day when we're skating. We're going to go right into a live read right now. Fuck this.
A picture of you.
You took a picture of me in the beautiful multi-million-dollar alumni room that I invited you in. Mm-hmm. And then you crop my fucking hair out with somebody else.
I didn't do that. They
no.
sent
Then
that
you
to
post.
me.
No. Then you post it on Facebook and you post it on Twitter. And I look
post it
like
on
a
Facebook.
fucking mutant. Although I did kind of look like Elvis, late 70s Elvis. That doesn't count. That's when he almost died. I think I look like Elvis in 79 when he was 2 years dead. Don't do that again. By the way, we were at the alumni skate. Your hands were there.
Oh, were they?
Your hands were there.
Why do you think that is?
Hockey training. I do think that you're working a little bit on hockey training. I do think you're doing the stick handling work. I do think you're doing a little bit of the
hockeytraining.com.
hockeytraining.com. They know what I'm talking about. All y'all know what I'm talking about. Andy, he's on the bubble. Andy is me. Right, Andy is how I was my whole career, besides juniors and maybe whatever. I was on the bubble the whole fucking time, unless I signed that 3-year deal when I was on a one-way contract. So scoot that out of the way too. But the rest of my career, I was on the bubble. Andy's on a bubble in the alumni skates. You looked pretty good the other night. You got work to do though.
Thank you.
You got work to do.
Yes, I do.
First 3 steps. God damn it, the first 3 steps. And here's how I told Andy before. In tight, you're good, dude. You can stick hand around somebody and get the shot off. Although your shot's a little weak, we got to work on the wrist curls, too. We're going to have hockeytraining.com.
Travis Turnbull told me that last night.
Oh, my God.
He's like a little wrist curls.
Dude, seriously. Because in tight, you're not getting it up. They're tiny. Oh, my God. They're Kate. They look like Kate's arms. You got cute arms, by the way. In tight, you're good. But you need to have that breakaway speed. You need to be able to control the puck.
I used to have it, believe it.
You don't have it.
I don't have it anymore.
No,
I don't have it.
Hockeytraining.com.
Yeah.
Do you see what they do on Facebook and Instagram? Look at all the videos. They're legit. The guy that does them, like, oh my God, that guy's jumping like a fucking gazelle.
You see the following they
I'm
have
like,
too?
geez,
Like,
I'm like, these guys are pimping out. Like, and they're working and doing this, and you could just tell they got that foot speed. Andy, you need the foot speed.
I know I do.
You're not even invited to the fantasy camp because of your foot speed.
No, I'm going.
talked to them.
Well, oh really? I have to go to that though.
You can go to it, but you're not going to play
We're
because of
put
the
on a
foot
show.
speed. Unless hockeytraining.com gets you there in the next 3 weeks, we'll see what happens, man. I'll make some emails. I'll write some emails.
Let me ask you this: training during the off season, how important is that? Like, in order to get the progress you need, you have to train all year long.
Andy, look, and every single year I did something different. Sometimes whenever you didn't make the playoffs and you got that 4 or 5 months where you could relax, you could take your time, you build into it. I never stopped doing something.
Even during the season?
Even during the season. Goddamn right. During the season, absolutely, you're working out all the time. Mm-hmm. You're stretching, you're doing this, you're working on your box jumps. You do that depending on how many days in between you have from games.
Yeah.
But right when the season's over, you never want to crawl into a hole. Meaning, if you go 4 or 5 weeks without doing anything, you're ready to party, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're hanging out with your buddies who you haven't seen in a long time, you set yourself back. Now you're digging. Every single week that goes by when you don't do a goddamn thing, you're digging another hole. You're digging another foot. And you got to eventually crawl out of that. And then you got to force the issue, meaning you're 6 weeks into it. You just start. Everybody else has been going for about 3 or 4 weeks. They're 3 or 4 weeks ahead of you. Mm-hmm. Now you're forcing the issue and you're working, and that's how you pull hamstrings. That's how you do this. Start early. Never give up. You can still do your party work.
Here's what they do, though, at hockeytraining.com. In-season training, like, they'll be the first to tell you, it's different than off-season training.
Of course it is.
And it's kind of what you're talking about. So they keep things light, joint-friendly, Cam. Joint-friendly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
There's stuff that you could do that work on your speed.
Keeps you strong and
easy
fast,
on your knees.
Keeps
It's
you strong and
easier on your
fast.
ankles. If you have fucking injuries here and there, man, like, I get it. Like, it's easy stuff, but it works. And you get that.
I told you
right now.
I've been
Andy.
doing the
Holy fuck, were you slow
hockeytraining.com
the
now
other day.
for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But every week you get better and better and better, man. You're seeing
your
the
hands-
improvement. You are a believer in what they're doing.
You're turning with guys. I need the 3 steps from you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need you to be able to break away from guys. And I told Andy this too, and he knows it. And you guys think we're joking about this? We kind of are, but we're kind of not.
You're not.
Like you think I'm. What I always say when I see the guy walking in, you're like, oh boy, here he is. Andy's there. Everybody loves him. He's very popular. Everybody follows Andy everywhere. But when it comes to the hockey, he hasn't played in a long time. He's getting a little older, although he looks young. But we need to work on that right now. You got guys that just retired, and they're fucking unreal. I'm trying to keep up with them, but it doesn't matter about me. But Andy comes in, and he's getting better. And the guys are so hard on you, too. And it's not easy, man. It's not easy.
But it's like,
the boys are all over you.
But it's guys I've known for 15 years.
I know,
whatever,
but it doesn't matter.
No, but it's a little easier.
I know.
Although I get
the
pissed
boys
off,
get
too.
on
Because
you.
I can't even breathe. I know I fucked up.
No, you need to be able to hold
And I got to
on
hear it from like 6 guys. Everybody can make a mistake, and like nobody says anything.
No.
If I do it, it's like, oh,
welcome to my world, dickwad. Welcome to my
But I
world.
love it, man. I wouldn't
dude.
change it.
It
for
makes
the
you
world.
better.
Oh,
it just makes you
it's
better.
So much
like
fun, man.
You feel better about yourself, dude.
It's so much fun. But just getting out on
That's
the
a good
ice.
live read right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good live read right there. That's a good
live
live read right there.
Shit.
Jeez Louise.
Drop the mic.
I know.
But keep checking that out. They've got new moves though too. They have a Austin Matthews move too, by the way.
Well, you're not ready.
I don't know
for
if you've
that
seen
yet.
that.
You're not. No, not from
I
you.
wanted to do the Svechnikov yesterday, and I didn't do it. I wanted to do the Kucherov yesterday. I didn't do that either.
I peeked you in a locker room before, and I ruined your confidence.
Oh, I told everyone before I went out. I said, "Listen, I'm doing the Svechnikov today."
Everybody's like,
They're like, "Oh my god!"
Everybody's like, "How about you just like stand up For fuck's sake, Svechnikov. You don't even know what the fuck it is.
Oh, I sent it to you.
I know what it is.
I sent it
You
to
ain't doing
How about
it.
who is that guy, by the way, that they
Who?
put on that video?
He's good.
I mean, he's like.
I don't know. We need to invite him out to some of this.
We may have to. Can he play though, or is he just one of these like
There it
video
is.
guys?
They're just like a basketball guys.
I
Like
know.
why? So can I? Before we get into something else, I know it's a long intro, but you see these basketball guys I see on YouTube and stuff where this guy is called the professor, right?
Right.
He goes out there like blah 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 blah. What the blah? What the ching ching ching.
The professor.
The professor.
He's got great dangles
Why
for a basketball
didn't
player.
you make the NBA then, son? Why didn't you make it? If you're that good, why didn't you make it? I'm small, so am I. Why didn't you make it? Jason Williams is small. You know, I know basketball. Jason Williams is small with all them tats, and he did his thing, and he did a back elbow.
white chocolate.
White chocolate.
Yeah.
Why didn't you make it? You're that good. Why didn't
He
you make
did
the
make
NBA?
it.
I know he did. I'm
Oh,
talking
the
about the
professor.
Yes.
He's pretty sick on the
That's
mixtape
fine.
tour, though.
You're going against chumps. If you're that good, you
Yeah.
should have made the NBA.
Okay, there you go.
Motherfucker.
All right, hockeytraining.com brings us this episode with Shane Doan. Before we get into telling you about our great sponsors, though, man, Donor is just like he's like such a pleasure, dude. Like such.
Actually, you know what?
Such a pleasure.
I pump his tires up a lot, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck this guy. Fuck him. He's fucking perfect.
No,
I don't
but he's
like
not. But
perfect
all the
people.
boys like him, though.
No,
man. He's not like that.
He's the best.
He's not like Tim Tebow or
I
something.
just, can I just like chop his head off and put it on mine because his hair is so nice. No, he's a great guy. And he was cool, and he laughed at everything. And
Great stories.
I didn't even cuss him from. I said heck.
Oh my God, Cam saying heck on there.
Kate's gonna love this podcast.
It's hilarious.
Woo,
It's
woo,
hilarious.
woo.
But this guy is such a good person, so authentic,
So
so
awesome.
genuine, and he's like working with the NHL. He's in the Situation Room.
he should be.
Can somebody hire this guy? Like, how could you be an NHL team and Shane Doan is like a free agent? Like, somebody grab this guy. How would you not want him in your organization around your young
I don't
guys?
trust Shane Doan. I don't trust him. Like, what the fuck? Can he work for the podcast? Like,
I may have to hire
Shane
him.
Doan's not. He's not a good person. Get the fuck out of here, weirdo people. How Phoenix? Oh, you're in a good spot right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Biz. I know
Yeah.
Biz is gonna chirp you. No, Phoenix, you're not in a good spot. Like, get this great human being. You want good karma? Like, do you want good karma? Hire this fucking guy. Lord, he probably
So
doesn't. He
odd.
probably like pay me like nothing. I'll donate to charity.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to quote him on that.
No,
That's me thinking
no.
that he probably would do that. But
He'd put that in the ranch, man.
he put
He'd put that right back
which
in
is
the
charity
ranch.
anyway because he brings kids out. Like,
Brings
he does
everybody there.
Good
This
God.
guy's like
It's like an
unbelievable.
elementary teacher. Like, who knows what he does?
But, you know, he is busy. He's always being pulled in different directions. He's so polite. You know, I was trying to been trying to get him on for a few weeks and, again, trying to fit it into his schedule when we record and all that type of stuff. And he's, like, apologizing. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like,
Like,
no,
you better be.
It's all good. That's what you said. But it's
God.
all good, man. He's
but you know what? Sometimes, like,
unbelievable.
when you act like
good
that,
player, too, dude. What do you remember about playing against him?
nothing.
No?
No, because
You
I was
don't remember?
Yeah, Georgia Rock on a team. I'm thinking of Georgia Rock the whole fucking time. Then Biz would like string me out and
But, dude,
catch me.
he
in the-
scored like 400 goals, though. Man.
Yeah, but I'm not on the ice against him, so I didn't really think like what's Shane Doan gonna do against me tonight. I'm bringing you 3 minutes. Andy Murray was coaching at the time. I'm like, So I'm like, where's
Well,
Georgie?
I'm just telling you, like, what?
Well, you asked me.
You liked
Did
him
you want me
as
to
a
lie?
player.
You want me to lie? Oh, he's as a player.
Yeah, good player. Dude.
Oh, he's an unbelievable player.
Yeah.
Unbelievable leader. He does the right things on the wall, Andy. He has the first 3 steps that you don't have. You know what I'm saying with that? You see his first 3 steps? The one question I didn't ask him was, like, how would you adjust every year? Speaking of hockeytraining.com, like, how do you adjust every year to keep up with the pace?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
fuck, you're not... He wasn't
He wasn't,
extremely
like,
fast. Like, he
explosive,
just
though. He's
did
not
the right
Solani,
thing,
man.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He just did the right thing.
You know, I didn't tell this story.
Yeah, I didn't mean to be a dick on that question. I'm sorry. I just don't remember like one thing that he did.
No, but
I
you
never
played
had,
in the league, dude. You know how good he was.
I knew he was a good human being, so I just stayed away from him because I felt like if I hit the guy, that like Satan would like have lightning strike down on me or
Well,
something.
he might. He might now. I mean, the
know.
way you're acting.
I thought I just pumped his tires up.
1,500 games.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
1,500. You'd have to play like that's like 1,200 more games than
Andy,
you
I
played.
know what the goddamn like. I could do the math on that for fuck's sakes.
400 goals though.
Jesus
He did
Christ.
score. I was right about that.
Yeah.
But I want to tell the story before we get into the interview, because I'll never forget the agent for Keith Yandel. What do they say? Sonk. What is that?
Sonk me, Yanzi. I told you that. Look, you're gonna sonk me like you're gonna
Sonk.
fucking take a slap, and I'm going right at your ass like a fucking missile.
Sonk.
Sonk nothing.
So listen, one day, I think there was like a lockout. Something was going on. But anyway, he was training in Arizona, just, signed there. Young kid, hadn't played in the NHL yet. and they're at the gym. And his agent told me the story. I wrote about it years ago, and then he refreshed my memory when I knew we were going to have Shane on. And he didn't even know who Keith Yandel was, and he heard that he was getting to the gym from like the hotel shuttle or whatever.
It was god awful.
Like the hotel shuttle's taking him to the facility.
Yeah, I remember doing that shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so he found out. He went up to him and said, "Hey, how you doing?" Blah blah blah. He gave him a BMW to drive.
Oh. Is that? Can we say?
I think he ended up giving him the car, but he gave him a BMW to drive for as long as he needed until the NHL season started up. He may have even kept the car.
Question about religion. Is that what Jesus did back in the day? Did he hand out vehicles back in the day, like maybe a cart or something? Is that what Jesus does, Andy?
No, he might. I mean,
seriously. Somebody hire that guy.
Oh, thank you. So all you owners in the NHL, excluding Tom, he's our guy. We don't really have a spot for him right now.
He's going to be in the lineup here pretty soon.
We don't have a spot for him in St. Louis, but we could probably find something for him in Carolina. We got a lot of spots for him.
Yeah.
Seattle. How about Arizona? He's in your backyard. Like,
I don't get
could
that.
Could you imagine
man.
having him and Kurt Warner together in the same city? Like, how could anything ever go wrong there?
Wow, that's right.
I wanted to bring it up because he's tight with Kurt.
You should. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
I should.
I can't believe you just dropped an F-bomb
I'm
and talking about Kurt Warner and
not doing
Shane
it.
Doan.
I'm not doing it.
You're definitely going to hell.
Kurt Warner too. Wow. Those two together.
And Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh my word.
And Paul Goldschmidt.
Is he from Arizona? Like that you reached on the last one there.
He was. They were all tight.
Oh, is he an Arizona guy? I mean,
well, he came here from Arizona.
Oh, okay.
And
I like baseball. You know that, right?
I
pay attention.
But
to
he was. They were all tight. They all hang out together.
The same kind of guy.
It's like the perfect
Louise.
Arizona.
Wow.
Seriously, I honestly don't know much about the organization. Like they switch. I don't know who owns the team, who doesn't own the team. Hire Shane Doan.
No shit. No duh.
All right,
this is one. This is a long one.
One of the best interviews that we've had. So, just listen. Today, by the way, there's no games.
I don't know what you want
from last night. Just sit
we're
back.
We're not breaking anything down. You're lucky you're getting this.
Sit back and enjoy this.
No shit.
Shane Doan, and appreciate him for who he is.
Walking
Great
on water.
Family man too. All right, the show as always is in addition to hockeytraining.com, which we talked about at length. CarShield 800-857-2481. CarShield.com. Mention the promo code CAM. You'll save 10%. It's embarrassing as hell. I get it, but you got to say it. 10%. If you say CAM, you save 10%. You'll save money.
Why is that embarrassing?
It just is.
Why?
It's you.
You want it to be you?
It should be.
What should we do? Shane Doan?
Donor.
Donor. We could do
That'd
Donor.
Be good. That'd be good.
No, it's CAM. CAM. Very simple.
CAM.
If you forget that, then well.
800-857-2481. Get your protection today. It's very cheap per month. Okay, parents, kids going off to college, young drivers, whatever it is, you better have CarShield. Otherwise, stuff's going to go down, something's going to happen, and you're going to get stuck with the bill.
Exactly. Adds up.
Don't have that happen. CarShield.com, 800-857-2481. GadgetBuyback.com, 877-772-8880. You got a cracked phone, tablet, whatever it is, get that fixed and do it now. 877-772-8880. 8880. You can always check out GadgetLabMobile.com if you're local. They got a store in Oakville. How about Bellman.com? BEHLMANN.com. BEHLMANN.com. Say what up to our boy Dan over there in Troy. He's got the Cadillac Buick GMC on one side of the street. On the other side, they've got the...
God damn you with this shit. Oh, Buick, Cadillac.
No, that's on the other side.
No. Cadillac, Chrysler, and you fucking dick.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram.
Here's what I want, by the way. I want them dualies. Dude, I'm looking at boats right now.
What's a dually?
A dually.
It's like when you hook your car on, like where you hook the boat onto the back of the car.
It's got dual tires in it.
No,
it's got dual tires in it. Oh my! Where are you from, Ledoux?
Oh,
where are you from, Ledoux? What is you don't know what a dually is? A dually truck?
What's I didn't know you. So it has two tires.
It's got two tires. Yeah, because it could handle a big boat.
What's the benefit of that? Like
you could handle a big boat.
Okay.
You could with Shane Doan it. Shane Doan has a dually in his. I will get.
What do you think he drives?
A big ass fucking truck.
He's got a pickup for sure.
Yes, a shit kicking truck. He should go to Bellman, by the way.
He should.
Oh yeah,
we'd hook him up. Probably more so than they hook him up in Arizona right now.
There's not even
hire his ass. Like, what is wrong with these people?
Bellman should hire him too. He should work for it everywhere.
I think so. Bellman.com. Check out the pre-owned inventory in addition to their new cars, man. Best service you're going to find anywhere in the country. We can promise you that. Dan Bellman and Company, Bellman.com. Bud Light Seltzer, baby. Listen, I don't know where to start with Bud Light Seltzer. These people are so good to us. They have been truly just changing the world with what they've been able to do with this seltzer, man. I see it everywhere all weekend.
Send us pictures. Keep doing that. God, I love it. I just you know how much I love water and boats and just chilling on docks. Like that's like my, like I work.
People
my
were
ass
doing
off.
it last weekend.
I work my ass off, and I just want to be able to do that and chill and do the podcast on the dock, Andy, and have Bud Light Seltzer in my cool Bud Light cooler right next to me, which they need to send me, by the way. You hear me? I want that Bud Light cooler too. I'm gonna take that damn thing everywhere. I want to sit on a dock and have that and just chill and jam out and listen to stuff. Maybe I want to jump in the water. Maybe I don't. I don't give a shit. It doesn't even matter. I got Bud Light Seltzer right next to me, and I'm looking over water. Andy, I love that. That's why I work hard, baby.
Dude,
that's why.
And they've got some unbelievable things coming out, so stay tuned
I can't
for
wait
that.
for that, by the way.
I mean, we got a major announcement. We may break that story for Bud Light Seltzer. Check it out, budlight.com. 100 calories, less than a gram of sugar, 5% alcohol, dude. It's unbelievable. 4 flavors.
You look cool drinking it.
Oh, yeah.
If you're walking into a bar,
yes,
you're walking in a bar like, what's up? And you got one girl's like, damn, he's a fucking pen.
Is that a Bud Light Seltzer he's holding?
Oh, fuck, I like him.
Whoa,
can I go home with him? God almighty, because I know he's going to act cool. He's not going to be too banged
Bud
up.
Light
He's going to have a good buzz. Like, he's going to perform. Like, he's going to be fucking awesome. If I'm a girl, I'm like, damn right. Where are you at?
Strawberry, black cherry. Black cherry's under. Hey, looks like under the radar,
Real
dude.
Good.
Very good.
Real good.
Lemon, lime, and
mango. Jesus Christ, are you setting me up? I'm looking at different things.
You're right in the middle of a dip spit.
Mango, baby. Mango.
How's the Bud Light Seltzer with the dip? Like,
we don't even talk about that because it's kind of a turn off to it. I don't do that. You can't. It's like a fine wine. You don't chew. You don't chew gum. You don't do that shit. So stop saying that.
I don't do that.
I don't do that. I drink seltzer by itself, and I chill and I kick my feet up, and I feel like I'm like the most important man in the world, just like the other beer. Yeah. That doesn't even matter. This is a new most important person in the world, sitting on the dock, looking at the water, just jamming out stuff, watching listening to Cardinal game, listen to a hockey game, not tonight or tomorrow night, but listening to games one way or the other and just hanging out. That's what you do.
All right, Bud Light Seltzer, baby. Check that out. 4 flavors, like I said. All right, Shane Doan, man. This guy is legit. He is the real deal. Can't say that about everybody. One of our favorite interviews we've ever done. Episode number 69 brings you Shane Doan on the Cam and Strick Podcast. I mean, how involved are you with the NHL? You said you were on a call with the league. I mean, is that something that's normal, or is there like something that you're dealing with right now?
No, you know what? It's more just the hockey ops of everything that's going on in the bubble. I'm talking to the guys that are inside that are kind of managing and running everything. I was in Toronto in the Situation Room for I think 14 days to start when the bubble when we started the play-in rounds and stuff. So now I'm back down in Arizona and just checking in, making sure it's all. If they need anything from me more than anything.
Yeah, no, I think that's great.
Yeah.
So it sounds like tonight's games are going to be canceled, and then tomorrow's games. Teams that are scheduled to play tomorrow will get pushed to the weekend, right? Am I getting that accurate news there?
That's I think it's kind of nothing seems to be solid right now, but that's kind of the last that I think everyone's heard, and that's kind of the direction that it's heading. Obviously, there's the group of people that are making decisions. It's depending on what fits and lines up with all the other people that are making decisions, because once you start switching that, it takes a little bit of time to kind of sort it all out.
Yeah, so you're in the Situation Room talking to people in the bubble. What's the feedback you're getting from the bubble? What are you hearing inside there?
The guys seem to have enjoyed it. Not ideal, and that was very clearly pointed out at times, but at the same time, the guys, the setup that they had at being able to be outside and play in the exhibition stadium in Toronto, and having being able to walk outside in Edmonton was huge, and they had their lounges and everything set up. It was great. They seem to enjoy it. When the league does something like that, like if you do a game in Europe, so to speak, or you plan a an outdoor game, it's like a year and a half in advance that we start planning and organizing and getting everything ready and setting everything up. And for this, it was like 3 weeks, because we were trying to make sure that we picked the right spot that was best in the situation of the virus and the lowest cases. And on top of that, what cities were capable of hosting something like that on short notice. So it was really, really quickly thrown together and unbelievably accomplished, and the way they did it was really well done.
No, they did a great job. And look, you can only do so much, and it is what it is. And Andy and I always talk about this too. It's like it's a luxury prison, because it kind of is a prison. I use that term
luxury
loosely.
prison. We want to create our own prison hockey team, by the way.
Because you have people watching every move you make, and you could only go to a selective amount of areas. You have your yard with picnic tables, it kind of
prison yard.
It's kind of like a prison yard, and the guys are just sucking it up. But if you're paying attention to the games, Donor, I'm sure you are. You see teams like Washington, and of course the Blues, who of course we're here in St. Louis, and you see teams like that. They just didn't have it upstairs. I mean, are you noticing some of these other teams like New York Islanders were like, you know what, we get the situation, and we're just going to take advantage of it as much as we can, and it's noticeable.
You know what? It's hard to say what the mindset of each individual team is, but you do see the difficulties of, once a team is down, to fight for that, to get back into it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we haven't seen that as much, where a team goes down by, all the teams that went down in the series all got eliminated. Mm-hmm. And that was bizarre, where there's often a team that'll come back from, a 2-1 deficit in the series, or come back from it, down 3-2. And we're going to have to wait and see, because you haven't seen that yet. And it seems that once you're kind of given that open door, it's hard to close it. It's hard to not take it and just be like, you know what, I'm out of the bubble. What's the worst case scenario? I'm going home to be with my family. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
I get to see my wife.
Or what's the worst case, or what's the best case scenario? If we win, then I can't go home to my family for another couple of weeks. That's my reward.
And not party with the cup.
I know. We've been talking about that, Donor. I mean, and you as a family guy, I think you have 12, 13 kids. Tell me how many kids you have.
He's got a farm full of kids.
You got a farm. You keep all your kids on the ranch. I know what's going on over there.
Working their asses off.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're doing chores at like 6 a.m. How would you handle it, being away from your kids that long and not being able to feel that connection with your family, knowing how important family is to you?
You know what? It would be early on in my career. It probably would have been harder. At the end of my career, it would have been easier, just because you start to recognize you only get so many chances to win a Stanley Cup, and when you get it, it's pretty special. And if you're in the playoffs and you're having a shot at it, at the end of your career, someone that hadn't won a cup and hasn't experienced that, there's a pretty good desire to figure that out. And I'm confident in my wife and kids would be able to handle life without me for an extra couple weeks, if that's what it took.
All right, so you could do it. Well, if Shane Doan can do it, then anybody can do it. Okay.
I'd be missing that flow. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, that flow. By the way, Cam wants. Is that real hair? Is that a wig you're wearing? What is that?
Do you ever just look in the mirror and say, "Gosh, dang it, I have great hair"?
Oh my God! Look at the effect that you have on Cam Jansen. He just said, "Gosh, dang it." He won't even curse around you.
I respect him. That's why I respect.
Yeah, well, I took so much heat. There's a couple pictures where I had like cards where, oh my goodness, it was so embarrassingly. There's a card where I'm like resting my head on my hand or something. It looks like my high school graduation. My mom picked it out photo, and it's
send
just
that to me,
awful.
will you?
And
Send that to me.
Yeah, I've taken a lot of heat for that chance. I've taken a lot of heat for it.
I love it. Hey, can we help Cam? By the way, you don't curse, and I know other people have said that in the past that they don't curse, but I kind of heard them curse every once in a while, so they slip up. How often do you slip up? Did you ever just slip up during the course of a game or on a bench where you just kind of said, "Uh-oh, did I really just say that?" Well, he didn't do it in an interview.
No, post game, mad at anything.
Come on now, Shane. Come clean with us.
No, you know what? There is no question that it's funny because there's no question that I do swear. I definitely have sworn, and it's mostly been in the dressing room after games that, at some point the amount of intensity that you want to make sure that your teammate understands where you're at, it's required. And that's kind of more my thing than anything. It's not that I won't swear, and I won't for just little things, and for things out on the ice, I tried not to. But my thing is if you swear all the time, then when you're really mad, do people really understand? Because you use the same language, you just use it louder.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that's what I do.
That was my thought process, and I would never use God's name in vain, but I'll definitely swear. And in the dressing room, probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 times throughout my career I did. I can remember a couple times where I did, and guys it had the desired effect when it happened.
Yeah.
But only 4 or 5, I'd say 4 or 5 times throughout my career. Jovo and I got into it one time pretty good. Ooh. And we're really good friends. And it was kind of required in that situation that we were kind of, the intensity of the room needed to see our intensity, and it worked.
What'd you say?
Yeah,
damn you.
Was that between periods?
Damn you, Jovo.
Was that between periods? When was that?
No, it was after a game, and we were kind of going. It was more in regards to just we had to be better, and that at some point as a group we have to be better. And I'd said fudge a few times and frick a few times, so then at that point, I think I kind of was a little bit more intense than that. So.
The Cam and Strick Podcast is brought to you by CarShield. You know, nothing more frustrating, Cam, than when that engine light comes on and right off the bat, you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to repair your vehicle. Call 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM or visit carshield.com and use the code CAM to save 10%. Yeah. That's carshield.com. A deductible may apply. Save yourself money. Sign up and get your coverage now with carshield.com. Now back to the interview. Yeah, no, I love it, man. Listen, yeah, man. In all seriousness,
Trust
man,
me,
I mean, we've got so much respect for you, man, for being able to do that.
My wife's not listening to this podcast, by the way.
And being just true to who you are. I mean, you are who you are. I mean, other people. Andy Murray used to say he never cursed, but I heard he would slip.
He yelled
up.
at me. Andy, get out of here.
No, he would say that. He would say that. But we all knew that he would curse, certainly behind the scenes and whatever. But all right, let's go back to where you grew up, Shane. How was your family life? What were your parents like, and how did they shape you for who you are today?
Well, I grew up on a dude ranch, kind of for kids. So
Shocker.
My parents my parents ran a dude ranch for kids where they'd come out and spend a week, and it was all on horses and kind of the Western theme. And then right next door, we ran a farm, and the farm we had about 120 head of cattle and mixed grain and stuff. So I grew up in the middle of rural Alberta, very, very small, about 75 people in my hometown. And I lived about 8 miles from that town on gravel roads. And it was an unbelievable spot. I mean, it's still my favorite spot to go. Not so much my kids all the time. They love going to see Grandma and Grandpa, but it's drastically different than Scottsdale. So it's a little different.
So can you you're able to, and it's so funny when we deal with the Blues. Sometimes Andy and I have to go in there and ask different questions to the players, and everybody's like, okay, if you were caught out in the middle of the wilderness, who would you want to be with? And everybody says Jay Bowmeister, and he said he could do anything. Are you one of those guys that you can go out there? You're stuck by yourself. You could Bear Grylls anything. You could cook this. You could go, do you ever do that to yourself? You ever go out there by yourself? Like, you know what? I'm going to go on a trek for 3 days.
My dad, my brother, and I, and a cousin, we went out for 8 days in September. And it was we went on horseback. We rode up into the mountains. It's called Yahatinda. It's like just on the edge of Banff National Park. And it was one of the best experiences ever. Like, it was intense in the fact that you're like literally in the middle of nowhere. Like you can't call for help. You can't get out. You have to ride in, ride out. We packed horses, and we had 4 pack horses and 4 regular horses, and rode in. It was a blast. It was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had.
Wow.
Are you armed?
We did. We had a couple. We had a 30-30 and a shotgun with us, and then we had some. Just because we were at about 10,000 feet for a lot of the time, and that's right around like the bear,
grizzly
like
bear
at that,
territory.
yeah, up at that height, you start seeing them quite a bit and stuff. So.
Did you have any encounters? Any scary bear encounters?
None, not one. Which was kind of. I've had a few. Like my brother and I did a show called Man Tracker.
Yep.
Yeah, and we had a few on that trip, but we didn't have any on this trip. None whatsoever.
What do you
Saw a
do
bunch of
though?
rut, but nothing else.
But what do you do though? Because can you even kill a bear if it's attacking you? Like it's against the law. I mean, if you're jammed up in a situation like that, if you saw one trekking you down, because they kind of creep up on you, man. They're sneaky. Like what do you do in that situation? It scares the shit out of me.
Yeah,
The heck out of me. The heck out of me.
Oh my God! I can't believe he did it.
Sorry, Donut. Sorry.
No, you know what? It scared me too. Like I didn't sleep. No, we'd tie the horses up kind of in a circle around our tents. Like we'd ride off into the middle wherever, and then we'd find a spot and lay down. And you tie your horses kind of in a circle around high line them where they're kind of tied up high so they can move around and stuff. And you put cowbells on them so that if the horses start moving and stuff, they'll smell and sense anything coming in before you will ever. And so then they move a lot and the cowbells wake you up. But yeah, I didn't sleep. You don't sleep as well because they're constantly going off, but you're aware of it. And you're constantly trying to just stay awake, not stay awake, but I don't know, alert, probably more alert, not fall asleep on the situation where you're at. But dude, it is so fun. It was an absolute blast.
So who had the nicer, the Dude Ranch or the ranch that you own now in Arizona, which I hear you might be selling, by the way? You can confirm that for us or not. Maybe you sold it already. But which ranch was nicer here? Now you're talking about your ranch is at a different level, right?
Yeah, my ranch is a Scottsdale ranch. It's not a ranch. It's like a manicured, like nice spot where
it's
you can
really nice. I saw the YouTube clip. I saw it.
I know.
That's not a ranch. That's like it's a barn. That's it. That's got 5 acres around the edge of the state land, so you can ride out and ride off into the state land and have a couple sections to ride in, which is really nice. But it's not a ranch. It's a barn. It's a stable. That's it. That's all it is.
So what do you? You're in Scottsdale. Like, so the kids are cruising around. You're on a ranch. Is there anything that you worry about? I mean, I know there's diamondbacks and like, what's the predator that you're kind of worried about with your kids cruising around? No, seriously, because I grew up way in the middle of the woods too. There's
the wild boar.
No,
man.
the wild boar. Damn
yes.
right. Damn right. Yeah. Is that a problem? I see there's actually a show in Texas. They hire people to go out there and kill these damn boars. They tear up your land.
Are you on that show too?
Are you on that show too? What's going on with that, Donor?
No. Those things are amazing, and those are like domesticated boars. Like they're not the big wild ones. They're pigs that got out that are just rooting and tearing everything up. Here we have javelinas, and they only get to be like
scary looking creatures.
Sounds like hyena. Yeah. What'd you say?
Javelina.
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 Tell Cam
that?
What those are.
Tasmanian devil? What is it?
It's like this. It's a pig, but it's closer to a rat, but it gets to be about. It's probably about 40 pounds, probably about just above your knee, thigh high. So they get to be big enough, and they travel in group packs of like. I don't know, a boar with about 4,000 or 5,000 some little piglets, and I guess I'm assuming they're called piglets. I don't know what they are, but they're nothing. They're more dangerous for your dogs because they'll kind of go after dogs.
Coyote type.
Yeah,
like a coyote type.
Yeah, they'll dig into your dog, man, for sure. Guys have told me stories how you like show up to the rink. Like you wouldn't always take an afternoon nap. Like you'd show up in your dusty jeans and your boots. Like you'd go after the morning skate, go work on the ranch, and then come back to work at night and play the game, right?
Well, no, I don't know if I ever did that on a game day, but I definitely did that a lot of other times. And there's the one time so in the playoffs. I got hurt against Detroit the one year, and I hurt my shoulder, and I thought I could play Game 7. We'd never made it out of the first round of the playoffs, and I was fired up, and we had a pretty good chance. And Tip decided that I wasn't going to be I wasn't ready to play yet, and so he said that I wasn't playing Game 7, and I went straight to the ranch from there on a game day and came straight back to the arena. But I wasn't playing that night. I was pretty fired up, I had to go for a ride and breathe and get some quiet time by myself before I got around anybody again. But that's the only time I'd ever do something like that, is if I wasn't playing.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well,
but
hey, listen.
His quiet time seems pretty like
you would be the only one that's allowed to do that. By the way,
Exactly.
okay. If you want to go to the ranch and you want to clean up the stalls or whatever,
go for a ride on the horse.
How many horses do you have over there? By the way,
we got about 100 up in Canada, and I got about 4 or 5 down here right now.
100.
We usually have about 15. We usually have about 15 down here, but we sold off a few of them. So now and that's it. We kind of bring them back and forth. And right now it's hard to get them across the border. So we can't get anything down. So we're down to 4 or 5 down here. So
I see the video that you get on your bike every morning. Your little boy gets on his bike. You take him to school. You do this. You do that. Like that is such a like. So, but does he play minor hockey in Arizona?
Oh, he's got a stud.
So
one of his sons.
I know.
Stud,
And I know that's what I'm saying. So he plays. How is it down there? So we went through this here with St. Louis youth hockey. When I grew up, Andy, we kind of grew up in the same somewhat era. We got our butts kicked for a long time going up to play honey bake and things like that. How are they compared to how, I guess, the St. Louis was about 20 years ago? Of course, you know where we're at now, but are they winning tournaments down there? Like, are you intimidated going to these tournaments, seeing all these big dog teams from Arizona?
yeah, I haven't like Jan said, I have a boy that he's an 02, and he's actually playing in the USHL. And then my younger son, he doesn't play hockey. But when I retired, I coached my boys team for 2 years. And yeah, we're probably, I'd say 15 to 20 years behind where St. Louis is. Because you guys were the dominant, like we played in the same league. It's called the Tier 1 Elite League that St. Louis is in, and they're usually one of the teams that always win it. And Brownie and Keith and a bunch of those guys are all kind of running the programs, kind of as their kids go through, they all kind of step up and help, and then they've all continued to help. And it's made a huge difference, because you look at Clayton Keller, and there's about 5 or 6 boys that I saw play when they were young and now are getting a shot at the NHL, and it's exciting to see that. And Arizona's probably, like you said, I'd say 15 years behind, but we're improving quickly. And Austin Matthews is kind of like the flagship of the whole Arizona kind of minor hockey, where if he can do it, anybody can do it. Not expecting to be like him, but at the same time, he's the guy that's like, we can do this. And the 02 team that I was coaching, we had a good team. We made it to nationals 3 years in a row, and we made it to the semifinals the 1 year, and made it to the semifinals 2 years. So we finished in the top 4 or 5 a couple years in a row. But we weren't ever it was more of a surprise that we did that than it was an expectation that we did that.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about the new Bud Light Seltzer.
Oh, yeah.
It's an easy drinking hard seltzer that comes in 4 delicious fruit flavors. Black cherry, strawberry, lemon lime, and Cam's favorite, mango.
Oh,
With only 100 calories, 5% alcohol, and less than a gram of sugar, you might as well have a few tonight or this weekend. Go to budlight.com to buy Bud Light Seltzer online. Must be 21 years of age or older. Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good.
Yeah.
Now back to the interview. No, I mean, listen, I
went through it, man.
Yeah, and I coached with our O2 group here 1 year. Jordan James was the head coach, and so I kind of saw up close and personal. But let's be honest here, Donor. You may be 15 years behind St. Louis, but you're not 15 years behind Cam, okay? So just tell the boys.
Hey, if I can do it, anybody can. That should be the motto everywhere.
Hey, but the Ranchman, I've talked to some of your former teammates that they say, man, you'd have some unbelievable team Halloween parties out there at the ranch and scare the shit out of guys and stuff.
Hay rides, I could see it, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Headless Horseman.
Yeah, we had some good ones. We did a few different ones that were a lot of fun. There's a place called the Buffalo Chip here that has a bull riding ring in the, it's a country bar, but it's more of like a family kind of country bar where up until 7 o'clock, it's like you bring your family and your kids, and then after 7 o'clock, it turns into a full-on honky tonk kind of get going.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a blast. So one day we rented it out for Halloween. And then we brought in all the bull riders, and we had the guys kind of just, you could get right up against the bulls. You could be sitting on them in the chutes and stuff, and we had a good time having fun with them doing that. And oh my goodness, Brian McGrattan ended up getting on. Oh yeah, him and Jans, you had an unbelievable fight when he was here.
A bunch of them.
Oh yeah,
yeah, like you had him with him in Ottawa, but you had one here that was like, because he's a huge man, Jans. Like he's huge.
I thought he was tiny, Donor. What are you talking about?
And that was impressive. I was so impressed with that with you. But at the same time, we had some good times, and we had a riot doing that. And oh my goodness, some of the stories that came out of those were a lot of fun.
The Halloween parties are the best, man. Some guys go so crazy on their outfits, and they're and if you don't. You walk in that place and you're a pirate and your wife's a pirate, and the guys are like, "Oh, gee, way to go, Cam! You get cheap ass." You know?
I know.
Oh, I love it.
Hey, but everybody knows how you are and what you stand for and everything that you're about. But was it always like that for you, Donor? Like, did you enter the NHL like that? Did somebody influence you, where all of a sudden it turned your life around?
Were you always perfect?
I mean, no.
No.
Come on.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. And you know what? I was very, very fortunate to have unbelievable men around me as I was growing up that kind of just made sure that I kind of understood certain things that I believed to be true and kind of held on to those. And yeah, I was kind of came into the league that way. I was fortunate enough to have a bunch of great guys that when I came into the league, like Chris King, Keith Kachuk, Dave Manson, some guys that gave me the freedom to kind of be who I was and encouraged it, and then also taught me so much about just character and who they are. And a guy like Teppo Newman, and he is one of the classiest, most real men you'll ever meet.
Wow.
And so I got fortunate that I got to be around those guys, and then. Yeah, and the fundamentals that my family instilled in me as a Christian man that I thought was important. And so those were things that I was fortunate enough with. But, man, the guys around me that gave me the freedom to be who I am was really I was so fortunate and blessed to have that. And that was something that I still to this day can't believe that I got to be friends with those guys. And that's the coolest part of being in the NHL is that you get to call, guys like Jans – would have his friends are NHL guys. Like, and as a kid growing up, being in NHL, wanting to play in the NHL and thinking the NHL guys are the coolest people in the world, to then when you get to be older to say that, hey, those are my friends. Those are guys that I can call up and get advice from and talk to. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's got to be amazing, man. I mean, there's no question about that. But, I mean, listen, I didn't play in the NHL, but I kind of understand a locker room culture, what goes on in the dressing room, what guys talk about. Like, what was that like for you? I mean, you're sitting there, you're doing your laces, you're getting ready for practice, and guys are talking about what they did the night before, maybe getting a little bit crazy. Like, do you just turn the other way?
As a leader?
Do you want guys to feel comfortable that they can talk about whatever they want in front of you, like on the plane, on the bus, whatever? What was your approach with that?
Yeah, no, 100%. Because it's funny because people are always like, well, it seems like it's a moral thing. And I don't. It's not a moral thing. I think it's a heart thing, and that was, I've got enough of my own issues that I wasn't going to be judging or questioning, what people around me were doing because I have enough issues of my own, and yet at the same time, the guys did know that, kind of my thoughts and feelings on everything, and that I thought that some of it would be, some of the stuff that they might be discussing would cost them some things in their lives as they got older. And so, yeah, they knew that that's where I stood and that's who I was and stuff like that. But at the same time, I don't think anybody ever felt like I was judging them or they couldn't be open and tease me and have fun with me about the stuff that, they try to, sometimes guys would do it specifically to see if they could get a rise out of me. And I love that. I think that's part of being on a team and part of a group and enjoying being part of the group.
Yeah, man. You would have been great in a lot. You would have. I'm looking at the years when I played with the Devils. Oh my God, the guys were all. I needed you in a locker room at times. I think, I'm not gonna lie to you. Scotty Gomez and Richard Mavich. Oh, they were all over me. I needed you to kind of bring some faith into me a little bit because they're all over me, but I deserved it. But I was going to ask you this, and the Coyotes organization as a whole has been through so many ups and downs. You've been there for so long. Like, when was when do you think the best year was? Like, what year since you've been there was the most exciting year? They had the biggest fan base going. Things are rocking and rolling. Like, what year do you think that was throughout your career?
Know what?
The whiteout.
Yeah. The early on when we were in downtown, we had some unbelievable teams. Like, you look at and that's like the one year when we had like Keith Kachuk and Jeremy Roenick and Craig Janney and Greg Adams and Rick Tocchet and Cliff Ronning and then Dave Manson and Teppo Numminen and all the Nikolai Habibulin was our goalie.
Wow.
And then we had Dallas Drake and all these guys that were really influential guys in the league. And we seemed to we played Detroit like 4 times in the playoffs where it just happened to work out that way when they were in the West. And those years were really good. And then downtown in Arizona, it was rocking, and it was fun to play in that old building and down when the fans were right on top of you and people were having fun. So and I think that as a young guy, when you're a young guy, it seems like the veteran guys, when you come into the league, are the true NHL players. I don't care who you are. It's like, well, when I came in the league, you guys don't remember, like, all those guys I listed, those were the NHL players. And then when you get older, it's kind of hard to view yourself, I think, at times as the real NHL. You're like, we're just kind of, we're not as tough as they were. We weren't as good as they were. We weren't as wild as they were. Everything seemed to be more like that. But then at the end of my career in 2011-12, we went to the conference finals, and I thought we had a chance to really start building on something. But the team we'd been in bankruptcy, and the foundation of the team had just kept getting eroded year after year with not being able to kind of really establish itself. And that team was good. We had a chance. I mean, LA beat us, but if we thought that we had a chance to beat LA, that we had a chance to play New Jersey in the finals, and that was a fun year. I really enjoyed that year.
Yeah, I remember.
You probably would have beat us by the finals
because I think you guys knocked out.
I was sitting out.
You knocked out Chicago, I think, on your way there, right? I mean, to get to the conference finals. So you guys were a good team, man. You had some good young players at the time. But Doan, what was that like for you, man? You were with the organization so long and dealing with all the ownership issues and the league taking over the team and all this discussion about the organization picking up and moving elsewhere. How taxing was that on your brain as you're just trying to be a great player in the National Hockey League?
You know what? It was something that I had no idea was going to be as overwhelming as it was, and yet at times it was also galvanizing. Like, our group kind of felt like it was us against the world, and because of that, it seemed to help us in certain areas. But the daily strain of going home to your family and dealing with, my kids, I have 4 kids that were all, at significant ages, and my daughter was in high school, and different things was going on. And so it was hard to go home and tell them what was going to happen next, because nobody really knew, and everybody kind of wanted to know, and everybody heard the talk and was waiting for something to happen. And it just seemed to be that axe that was kind of hanging out over your head for a while, and that just gets exhausting. But we had a great group of guys that it was so much fun. I wouldn't change it, and I had no regrets and loved it.
Cam and Strick Podcast here for our boy Dan Bellman with Bellman.com.
Yeah, baby.
You need some new wheels? Why not get a Cadillac, a Buick, a GMC? Yeah. Head out to Troy today. And again, don't forget about Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram right across the street.
No doubt.
Right there in Troy, Missouri. Visit them online. Check out their new selection, the pre-owned selection, the best service you will find anywhere in the country. Bellman.com. BEHLMANN.com. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the summer.
Yeah.
Now back to the interview.
We all know who the best player in the world is, and that's Wayne Gretzky. And we actually had Georgie Larocque on talking about him as a coach. He's a great guy. How'd you deal with him? I know you were a leader on the team at the time. And how was he as a coach? And, being the best player ever, it might be a difficult situation to transition to a coach and try to teach people how to have eyes in the back of your head sometimes.
No kidding. And that was Wayne got so much better every single year that he coached. And I really was hoping that he'd keep coaching in the fact that he was improving so much. The first year, I think every player feels like we could coach. Like, man, I could do what the coach does. And I think that when you have to do it, then you start to realize, holy man, there's a lot more to it than this. But his curve was going up so fast, and he was doing such a good job that I think that eventually he would have become a great coach. He only did it for 4 years, and that's tough to do it for that short amount of time. But it was interesting. It was hard because Steven Reinprecht was like the biggest Wayne Gretzky fan ever. He grew up in Edmonton. He joked he had Wayne Gretzky pajamas. He had Wayne Gretzky like sheets and on his wall. And now Wayne was coaching him. And Wayne, like one night, got really mad at him. And he came, and that's what I thought. So we're sitting on the bus, and Wayne just laid into him because we stunk and we deserved it. And as a coach, he had to do it. And Rhino's was playing cards, and he looks across. He's like, "I had his pajamas." The guy that I bought his pajamas just yelled at me. My hero, and that was so hard for the players and for Wayne because he is the most unarming man you'll ever meet. He is the greatest player of all time, and yet when you walk into a room with him, he somehow makes you feel so comfortable and unarmed. And it's such a talent, and he's such It was a special time to get an opportunity to be coached by him.
Yeah, Ronak had some interesting comments about him with us too. I mean, and you see, you're laughing, so But listen, I think you played with Holly for 9 games.
9 games.
It probably felt like 9 years. Tell us about your 9-game experience with Holly. And Grant Fuhr was an assistant coach. You had Curtis Joseph on the roster then too. I mean, that must have been an interesting experience for a season there.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Holly was as enjoyable. He came exactly as advertised. Like just an absolute
quiet.
Beauty oh yeah, very quiet, subdued. No one knew what he was thinking ever. I remember we were playing we had a game and we were back checking. And I came back and I just got back in time to lift a guy's stick. And Holly was waiting at the other blue line, and we get back to the bench and I sit down on the bench. He goes, "That's why you get to wear the C and I don't have to." But he asked one of the trainers who gave me a jersey one time. That was stuff like that. Like, seriously, who gave Doan a jersey? Somebody take his away. He's terrible.
Oh my God. So bad.
It's so good. It was so much fun.
It's so bad, but so good.
It is. I think he should be on NBC or whatever.
Donor, you're out of you crazy. You think they're going to let him do that? There's no way.
They did for a little bit.
I know they did for a little bit. That ain't happening anymore. How was he in practice?
Especially after he crushed Team USA and John Tortorella with Chelios during the World Cup.
Yeah, Donor. Oh, they're going to get him. Yeah, they're going to write a contract up right now for him.
I'm with you though. Not. Hey, Chelios was just with us, and we know Holly really well, man. Obviously, he's a big part of the organization, best player to ever play for the along with Gretzky. But Holly, this guy was hilarious. And when Chelios was on with us, he was saying that everybody at ESPN absolutely loved him.
Oh, yeah.
Like if he wanted to continue and have a career in broadcasting, I'm with you, man. He absolutely could.
I don't know. Well, I just don't know right now. He's not going to be able to do it.
He may cross the line every once in a while.
The thing is with Holly, he could just go on social media, which he doesn't know how to do, and just do it himself, but he doesn't care. Why would he? It is what it is. Yeah. But you're talking about playing with, how was a Dave Manson? God, I remember watching him grow up, Donor, and I'm like, this guy, he crushes guys. He's mean. He's scary. I remember, my dad always would bark at him when they would play the Blues. Was he just a down-to-earth guy? I mean, people look at these kind of guys and they think they're out of their minds, but they're really just normal people off the ice.
He is unbelievable. One of my favorite people I've ever. Him and Lana and their family. He's got an amazing family. He grabbed me my 18-year-old year. So, and this is stuff that you don't really see and hear as much anymore. But so my 18-year-old year, I was getting in trouble from Terry Simpson, our coach, and it really wasn't my fault what the issue was. And the coach kind of finished talking. And we were on the ice, and I turned to kind of skate away from the board. And I kind of rolled my eyes, are you kidding me? That wasn't my fault. And Manso, who wasn't a captain on our team, but was one of the leaders, saw me do it and grabbed me by my collar of my jersey and kind of almost picked me up off the ground and pinned me against the wall.
and was like, "Don't you?" And his voice is like when he talks because he's got hit in the throat. So he talks like this.
Oh God!
That's what he sounds like. And he's like, "Donor, if you ever do that to our coach again, I'm going to," and just loses it. And I'm 18 and my eyes are as big as saucers.
Wow.
But the point that he drove home was, you don't disrespect the coach. And he wasn't even one of the he's just an unbelievable guy and a team guy that you see what he's doing as a coach now. And the guys in the Western League loved him in PA. Yeah. And now he's in I think he's in Bakersfield. And his boy's just an unbelievable kid too.
Yeah.
Like
love him. Good player. Big boy.
Big
love
boy.
him.
Yeah. Did you ever do that to somebody? Did you ever grab somebody, Donor?
Yeah. By the throat.
No, I don't know.
One of the 12, 18-year-olds that play for the Coyotes.
What'd you do to him, Donor?
I might have had a discussion where some guys lost their hair for being disrespectful, but that was probably the extent of that. Was in the past when you could do stuff like that, but there's a time or two where you'd have to grab guys. I came running down the bench one time and kind of hit a guy on the bench, like just with a body check to kind of wake him up a little bit because the way he was kind of treating another teammate.
Big Walt. Was that Big Walt?
No.
What did he do?
No, I didn't run down and hit Big Walt. I was maybe hit by Big Walt, but I wasn't running down hitting Big Walt. I was towards the end of my career. Just kind of a guy kind of was skating back checking, and the guy crossed over the blue line, had an opportunity to make a pass to a guy and didn't see him, and the guy was kind of driving back door. Was wide open. The guy didn't see him, and the guy kind of lost his mind and was yelling at the guy as he's coming off the ice, and kind of gave him a look and dragged his stick and kind of stared at him. And you don't do that to your teammates.
No,
if the guy sees you, if your guy sees, he's going to make the play, and if he doesn't see it, he didn't see it. It's not like you can. So I made sure that the person knew that was unacceptable and that we don't treat our teammates like that. And that going forward is never going to work. So
yeah.
Can I hire you to be my mentor?
You just did.
Yeah.
Hey, your relationship with John McCain. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but obviously longtime senator in the state of Arizona. You were a pallbearer when he passed away. I mean, that's how tight you guys were. How did that start, and what was your relationship with him like?
Yeah, you know what? He came to a couple games, and as a senator and as a captain, I got to meet him and shake his hand. And after the game, he hung around the one game, so I sat and talked to him for a little bit. And then he has a thing. He had a forum called the Sedona Leadership Forum in northern Arizona, and the people that were there were like Elon Musk was there, Tony Blair was there, like. They had Hillary Clinton one time. They'd have about 6 or 7 different Republican senators. There's 6 or 7 Democratic senators. They had defense ministers. They had everyone, ambassadors. And he invited me to come up. And I was like, man, I'd love to. And he's like, just come up. And then he asked me to speak at it, which was mind-blowing to me because I wasn't even – I mean, these are legitimately world leaders. And what do they care about hearing me? And but I went up, and when he said, you can just come in and speak, and I was like, would you mind if I stayed and listened? And so I ended up staying for 3 days and listening with everybody. And then it kind of became a thing that he invited me out to his place and go out to his farm. He has a cabin up in Sedona that was amazing and beautiful. And we got to be good friends. And we went up right before he passed away. My wife and I went up and got to spend time with him and Cindy, his wife, and I've got to know their family, and they're just very few times in my life have I ever got to meet famous people that lived up to the hype. You hear stories of people and then you meet them and you're like, man, that guy's pretty, like that's not the whole story. There's a lot of, warts on that guy's kind of personality and stuff. But when you met Senator McCain, it was like, there was even more to him than the stories say. Like, he cared so much about our country. He cared so much about the people that were involved in it and making a difference and making good decisions. It was just fun to be around. And he was so humble and honest. Like,
it was so cool to be around him, and I loved it. And we got to be friends, and I was very grateful for that opportunity to meet somebody and be around someone like him.
Andy Strickland and Cam Jansen here for you for GadgetBuyback.com. Yeah. Gadget Lab, they got a store here locally if you're in St. Louis, 5541 Telegraph Road. Here's the deal. You got an old phone, maybe a cracked tablet. Maybe it's perfect, but it's a little bit older. Turn it in right now. www.gadgetbuyback.com. Upgrade your devices, phones, computers, watches.
Anything.
Doesn't have to be Apple either.
No.
Get those tablets turned in. Again, www.gadgetbuyback.com, 877-772-8880. Now back to the interview.
Yeah. Well, that's what politics do to you, man. I mean, whether you warrant it or not, like people are gonna dig all kinds of things that you can't be perfect all day long. And I respect him. Did you ever sit down with him at his ranch and talk to him about what he had to go through? I mean, the war hero that he was and the torture that he had to go through. And I know he's open about it. He wrote books about it and things like that. But did you ever just sit down and be like, I mean, just explain that to me? Or did you just stay away from it?
No, he was like an open book about everything. And he wouldn't talk as much about like the actual events, but he'd talk like sometimes. The story that Grant Woods told at his funeral was one of the stories I sat and heard him talk about. That was the one where he was tied to a chair one time, and they were torturing him, and they were asking him something, and he hadn't given really much, and it was like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and they tied him up in this chair in this really awkward position where his hands were asleep, and they'd broken his arms already prior to this, and so his arms didn't work properly, and his hands were tied up, and he was in pain. And it was like 11:30 at night, a security guard came in and untied his arms and let him hang down so that they weren't hanging tight. And then at 4:30 in the morning, the same security guard came back in and tied up his arms again. And then they came in at 5 o'clock in the morning to start torturing him again. But the guy had given him the night off, like the security guard that no one, and John said or Senator McCain had never ever met him before, but had seen him around. And then while he was in the yard, just kind of walking around in the camp, this same security guard came walking over to him and drew a cross in front of him, and then covered up the cross with his foot, reached down, drew a cross in the sand in front of Senator McCain.
Oh my God.
And then Senator McCain looked down, saw the cross, saw the guy, and then Senator McCain the security guard wiped the cross clean so that nobody could see it, and then walked away. That was the only interaction he'd ever had with the guy.
That's all you need.
And the guy, and it was one of those things that you get goosebumps when you're hearing the story, but when you hear the guy telling it that can't lift his arms because his arms have been broken and set wrong on purpose, can't put a hat on his head properly and brush his hair properly because of what they've done. And yet he never had a bad day. Like, it was just an amazing guy, just an amazing, amazing man. And he told stories about, a story about Teddy Williams being a pilot in landing a plane, because Senator was a pilot, and Teddy Williams was a pilot in the World War II, I think, or was a Korean. Anyways, he crash landed a plane that you can't crash land. And they said, like, that's impossible to crash land. You die if you crash land it. But Teddy Williams did it because he figured that if he ejected from the plane, because he was so tall, it would break his legs and he wouldn't be able to play baseball ever again. And so he figured he'd take the chance of crash landing and dying than breaking his legs and never playing baseball again. Wow. Like stuff like that I was like, Lord. Holy man. Those were men. Like, those were men, not like... Yeah. Those were men. That was pretty special.
Oh, crazy! Wow. I mean, we could go on for 2 more hours, Donor, and we'll pick this up.
We're on our way to your house right now, Donor. By the
way, when you have us out at the ranch, we'll pick this up. We'll continue this. Just build a little fire. We don't need much.
There we go.
But listen, the Coyotes are searching for a GM. I mean, listen, I don't know if you're ready to be a GM in your mind, if you think you are or not, if you want to even be one.
He's ready.
But what do you want to do? You want to run a hockey team in the National Hockey League? You want to get involved with the team? Like, what's the future besides roping on the ranch for Shane Doan?
Yeah, you know what? I would enjoy helping a team. I'd enjoy helping
out in any way that I could. I think I'd be capable of being in a leadership role on an organization, and I would enjoy that a lot. At the same time, there's only so many of those spots, and there's a lot of people that are out there that are very talented and very good at what they do, and would be able to do a good job as well. So it's interesting what I do going forward. I'm not totally sure. My kids, my youngest is 14, so he's in grade 8, and I'm looking forward to getting to spend some time with him for the next few years. And then once he's out of the house, the probably plans will change a little bit then.
Grade 8.
Grade 8. That's a Canadian
I know.
thing.
You've been in the States for like 30 years. It's 8th grade. Come on, Donor.
I had to correct people when I was up there. Donor, you're the man, dude.
When I said it, I heard it. I'm like, oh my goodness! I can't believe I just.
We love it.
I love it.
I'm nervous, so I go fall back on.
You should be nervous. Hey, you're an awesome dude. You're doing the right thing, man. I envy you. I need you around me a little bit more, I think, to help me out a little bit. But appreciate you coming on, man. I really do.
Hey guys, thanks so much. I apologize for being so difficult this summer and everything bouncing around the way it was. Stupid septic system and everything that went wrong, but thanks guys for understanding, and I appreciate it.
You know what? It worked out perfectly. It always does, so the fact that you gave us some time, man, we appreciate that. You got to plug your son though, because he's going to ASU.
Yeah. Pump him up a little bit.
We know a kid who plays there, and we're a big fan of the program, so
absolutely.
You're going to be able to watch him play close to home. That's got to be really cool for the family.
It is. We're so excited because he's going to go to Chicago, the Steel, play there next year again. So he's played there last year. He'll play there again this year. Hopefully they get their year in and everything happens. Mm-hmm. And then the following year, if everything kind of works according to plan, which, hey, that's the one thing I'm learning more. I think we're all learning is that you can't really make plans that you think you're going to do. You just kind of go with the flow a little bit. But man, if he was able to come home and play for ASU and the program and the excitement that they started to build here, it's fun. It's a lot of fun for them, and it's special that they get to come home and do it in their own backyard, and not too many people get to do that.
I got to ask you one question that I didn't ask you that was on my list in my head.
He's going to ride some horses here pretty soon, dude.
But listen, you spent so much time with the Coyotes. I know just from following the league and covering the league, teams were always interested in you at the deadline, and you never left. Do you regret not doing that? And were you ever really close to leaving Arizona?
You know what? When Keith Yandel got traded, I came really close because I was upset at the moment and probably let that get the best of me. And for a few days there, where I really disagreed with them moving him. I don't have any regrets. I've tried to make sure that in my life that I do as much as I can. Where there's obviously I've made some mistakes in my life, and there's things that have gone on in my life that you don't like to go through. But if you go down a different path, you never know what that path's going to lead either. And it could be a lot worse than the one you just finished. So I was pretty thankful and grateful. So I didn't have any real regrets. But the 1 year when Jans was gone, I thought about it. I thought long and hard about going to a couple different places. I went and looked in Vancouver and Philadelphia and New York. But in the end was I'd been given a pretty good opportunity. I by no means was I one of the, a superstar or anything, but I'd been given a really special spot in Arizona and a unique ability to play for one organization. And I wasn't going to kind of turn my nose up at that because not too many guys get offered that chance. And that was pretty special to me.
Okay. You're a good human being.
You are, man.
That's just the bottom line.
That's right.
I'm sorry. With great hair.
Hey,
with great hair. I got to throw that at you one more time.
All right, Donor.
Thanks, Donor, for everything,
all the best. We'll see you on the ranch.
Yeah, we'll be down in about 3 days. See you, buddy.
Hey, you two keep my number. If you guys ever need anything, call me.
Oh, we will. We will.
Hey, we know you won't answer, but we'll keep the number,
exactly.
Donor. Okay?
We'll hold our breath. See you, Dones. You're the man, dude.
You, man.
Later, buddy.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye.
All right, that was Shane Doan, episode 69 here on the Cam and Strick Podcast. I mean, at the end of the day, there you have it. Nothing else really to say.
That's it, baby.
This dude is unbelievable. Love having him on. And I don't think we've ever said this on the podcast. We will get him on again.
No, yeah, he's
soon.
part of the group.
He's just part of what we do.
We need that like spiritual realm.
If you do something bad, like, and it's hanging over your head,
lightning.
we're gonna call Shane.
Between him and Kate, oh my God. Oh Lord, I gotta be a good person, and I am gonna be a good person, Andy.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you will be if you hang out with him.
I'm trying to.
Come on, Coyotes. Hook it up. All right, that interview with Shane Doan, episode number 69, was brought to you by CarShield and carshield.com. 800-857-2481. Everyone say it with me. 800-857-2481. CarShield.com. Mention the promo code CAM. You're going to save 10%. Get that protection. Do it now. Small fee every month, and they take care of you. Computer goes out, engine, whatever it is. You got to have that protection. Pay your small monthly fee. Then they'll pay for the repairs, whatever it needs. They'll even hook you up with a rental car. Take your car wherever you want to take it to have it repaired. It's that simple. CarShield.com flat out hooks it up. All right, GadgetBuyback.com. You got a cracked phone, computer, cracked watch, cracked tablet. You on crack? Whatever it is.
They'll help with that too.
Okay, 877-772-8880. You kidding me? 877-772-8880. Hook that up. If you're a business owner, don't slow your shit down. Don't slow the business down. Trade in your old stuff. They'll pay top dollar for it. You'll make money off of it and upgrade. I mean, come on now. What are you doing?
Figure it out. Fuck's sake.
Please figure it out. Bud Light Seltzer.
Yeah, baby. Oh,
4
mango.
flavors, strawberry, black cherry, lemon, lime, and
mango.
Mango, baby.
I like mango. I like mango. Sitting on the dock, baby, with that feet up. Oh, God damn, dude.
my
I
God.
want to chill. I want to, like, be like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm going to jam out to fucking heavy metal today, baby. And I'm going to clean my boat, sip on mango, look at the breeze coming through. Maybe there's a storm coming. Maybe a water spout. There's like 5 of them the other day in Florida. Anyway, we're off topic. Mango, Bud Light Seltzer, water, happiness. We love you.
You can get it anywhere.
Anywhere.
I don't need to tell you where to go get it, but you can get it at BudLight.com, by the way. Got to be 21, unquestionably good, and they will...
21?
Yeah, 21. Right. And they'll mail it to you. It's that simple. Kind of like that shirt you're wearing today.
I know. They mailed it to me, too.
They mailed
I
to
wear
you.
free shit. That's what I do.
So anyway, Bud Light Seltzer, so check that out. Bellman.com, BEHLMANN.com. They got the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram on one side of the street, all in Troy, Missouri. Other side, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. I'm getting an Escalade. Cam's getting a 2-door pink Jeep with small wheels.
Yes.
Soft top.
Yes. Badass.
Soft
That's what
top.
badasses do right there, baby. That's what they do.
Soft top.
Soft top. Tiny wheels. That's what I want.
And you can get that, and you can get it online as well. You can get a pre-owned one. You don't have to buy a new one, but they have new inventory as well. So check that out. Our boys over there at Bellman.com. Great service, too, by the way.
Awesome.
You can send your wife there, send your girl. She's fine.
Yeah, she's not
gonna be
getting
taking
creeped
a
out.
hit.
No, I'll jump in. I'll jump in. Thank you. She's not getting fucking creeped out.
No.
Y'all know what I'm talking about with that. Going in, everybody's like, ooh. No, none of that. None of that. She ain't getting creeped out. Very, very comfortable, easy going. They don't harass you. They don't force shit. They just let you do your thing, and they'll help you answer questions. That's what they do. They're not creepy. Go ahead.
Cope 24. They're not creepy either.
No.
They're incredible. They help a lot of people.
Jeez, Andy, of course not.
Well, I'm just saying.
Well, like, car dealership is a different story.
Yeah, okay. But
So you know.
Renee and company, these
Oh
are the
my
best
God.
people in the world. Like,
Speaking of,
they're like
perfect,
Shane
yeah.
Doan.
That's Shane Doan's
she's
mom.
She's like the female version of Shane
Oh
Doan.
my God.
Is that Shane's mom?
It could be.
And we didn't know it?
Beauty
We
on
had
beauty.
no idea. No wonder
Their
she
beautiful
likes us.
family.
She loves hockey. She's been keeping a secret from us.
The beauty is there. Sweetness.
Renee's got great
oh my
flow,
God,
too.
She does. Oh my goodness gracious.
Unbelievable
They're related.
flow. I think so.
Love them both.
Cope24.com. Check that out. Changing our parenting experience. We got a big event coming up in November. Can't wait. I think we have a photo shoot coming up as well.
Oh God.
So-
I'm pale as fuck.
I know.
Oh fuck. Photo shoot.
Yeah, because Cam and I are running the show.
I'm
we
pale
think,
as shit.
But it's probably not the case. And we probably have like the smallest part in it.
Fuck. I gotta get on the water.
Yeah. So we're gonna tell our listeners about this event. By the way,
yeah,
we
for
need
sure.
everyone to participate in this.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Big time stuff. We're gonna announce it and we'll talk about it.
We'll do that.
I'll get my tan on. We're good to go.
All right. Check out all our videos, everything else, Instagram, Twitter, at Cam and Strick Pod. Check that out. We got some new sponsors coming on board too,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Some really good stuff happening here on the Cam and Strick Podcast. Some great stuff. We appreciate all the support that we're getting from all our listeners out there, man.
Help out with the sponsors, guys. That keeps
Help
their
out with
engine
the-
running.
You send us the pictures of you
Yeah,
hanging out
all
all
that.
weekend
We'll-
long.
we'll talk to
with
you.
your Bud Light Seltzer.
Yeah.
And sign up for that Car Shield. Buy a Bellman car. Get your phone fixed at Gadget Lab. Really, just hook up everything we're talking about here on the Cam and Strick Podcast. But Shane Doan, man, we're better off, and you are too, after listening to one of the best people we've had on the Cam and Strick Podcast.